Good morning to all of you, all our viewers, stakeholders, students, parents, everyone. This is Dr. Atul Deshpande, Director of IMER. Friends, today we have a different setup. We are going to have a panel discussion. Till now, we have had many people who have come here and they have talked about many aspects. So in this panel discussion, in the first place, I welcome our esteemed scholars, panelists, who have essentially come from various sectors. So in the first place, I would like to introduce our esteemed panelists. On my left, Dr. Radhika Kulkarni. Dr. Radhika is a counselor, physiotherapist, and graphologist. In the middle of the three, we have Rishikesh Bahadur Desai, a very senior journalist from the Hindu. And on his left, we have Ms. Manisha Subedar, again, senior correspondent, Tarun Bharat. All dear panelists, I welcome all of you.
Thank you, sir.
To this interesting panel discussion. I as director and I as a student always feel that this particular panel discussion, which entitles Life During Corona and Beyond. In this particular title, I feel the word life is important, during is also important, and the most important thing is beyond. Life is changing, which is inevitable. So, are we accepting this change with a judicious approach? Is my first question. If we have a judicious approach to changing life, then are we creating something new normal, which is again acceptable to us? Are we serious about this corona? Corona has affected various sectors of our life, no doubt about it. Till now, through this series, many scholars have given us an idea as to how corona has affected academics, social sector, economic sector, political front, so on and so forth. So today I request my panelists to emphasize more on beyond. So we first start with Dr. Radhika Kulkarni and have her views on life during corona and beyond. Dr. Radhika.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here amongst such esteemed panelists to talk about corona. Definitely, corona has taken a big toll on all our lives. It's a major part, a life-changing thing what has happened in 2020. The beginning of 2020, we have started, like as Sir said, this has become a new normal for our life now. A new normal way of living life. Maybe the entire way of living is going to change, is changing, and in the coming days will change even more. As a psychologist, I would like to say that just talking about death and life and something beyond that is talking about what corona has taught us right now. Like, it has changed the entire perspective about life. The way people are looking at life, the way people are living their life right now, or they were living just a few months ago. Maybe corona has taught us certain things which we never used to follow, especially in India, like social distancing, which is the most toughest part even right now, wherever the pandemic has outburst. Still then, we can see the social distancing is not maintained. But yes, there is a sense of community and affinity which is being seen amongst people. Suddenly there is an awareness amongst people that the community responsibility or the responsibility towards the community has increased. There is a transformation in the life of the entire crowd or the society, the way people are living. There are so many aspects which have got affected during corona. Naming one, it can be like personal, mental, physical, emotional, financial, economical, in all possible ways. Corona has really affected people, to every person. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who is left untouched because of the pandemic. it is something beyond that we need to think. As sir said, we will be talking something beyond corona, which none of us know whether there is something beyond corona. So apart from beyond corona, we need to look at the present situation and to handle the situation how we are supposed to handle it. The power of nature is something very important which we need to take into consideration. That is what we have done to the nature for these many years, maybe that is giving us back. So this is a learning lesson that henceforth we at least do not harm the nature to the extent what we have been doing. But still, maybe I think after 3-4 months or the 6 months of corona pandemic or whatever we are facing, people are still not aware that they should be taking care of the nature also. And apart from this, I would like to add something like the power of connection, which we need not forget, because we never know whether corona will, who the corona is going to affect, who is going to be affected by corona, who will be a victim to corona, who will get affected. But then power of connection, which we all need to understand the importance of power of connection. Stay in connection. It is not just through social media, with your family, with your members, even if in isolation, make sure you're in touch with everybody. That's the only way we can help each other. And then helping the other community people who are in need of any sort of help should come forward. This is what I feel. So what do you feel about this?
Thank you and welcome to this interesting discussion. As he pointed out correctly, there are 3 phases: pre-corona, mid-corona and post-corona. I have a feeling that the whole crisis was blown out of proportion by the media. Human race has suffered several crises in the past, thousands of wars, 2 world wars, and many diseases. So we are not putting this in perspective, we are just blowing out and bringing out numbers. So that is our case. We are trying to say that 100 cases were reported today. We say that 10 people died. We don't put it in perspective. For example, in a small district like Belgaum, which has around 55 lakh people, there have been 22,000 tests and 18,000 people have tested negative. And the number of cases is 336 as of yesterday, 336, out of which only 3 people have died. So 3 people out of 55 lakhs is a very small number. In fact, it is less than the number of people who die on the roads in road accidents in this district. So it is the media which has blown it out of proportion, and I squarely blame the media, all kinds of media, traditional media, electronic media and so-called new media, which is social media. They have the responsibility to bring our life back on track and tell us that nothing much has happened and we can go ahead with confidence. Media should be more responsible than it has been. The very famous statement by Walter Scott, where he said that the number of people who die in a war is less than the number of people who die after the war. So the number of people who have died out of the virus is less than the number of people who have died due to other reasons which are related or unrelated to the virus. The number of people, number of migrant laborers who died on the road is more than the number of people who died in hospitals. The number of people who are taking their lives, who are committing suicide, who are killing each other, or who are getting a heart attack, who are suffering from health issues because of the panic created by the virus is definitely more than the number of people the virus is killing. I'll just give you, just to put it in context, novel coronavirus belongs to a family of viruses which is responsible for diseases like SARS and MERS. SARS comes from sheep, goat and cow. MERS comes from camel, and novel corona has come from wild animals. SARS, there's something called that morbidity rate and mortality rate. The amount of infection in SARS and MERS is less than novel corona, but the number of deaths, proportion of deaths in SARS and MERS is many times more than corona. I'll just give you an example. If 100 people catch SARS 34 people die. If 100 people catch Mars, 20 people die. But if 100 people catch coronavirus, only 3 people die. So this is 10 times less dangerous than SARS. This is 4 times less dangerous than malaria. We are only bothered because it spreads faster and it spreads in ways that we don't know as of now, because it is only a 6-month-old virus. Very interestingly, it is a non-cellular organism. It does not have a cell wall. That is why it is impossible to create a medicine. Because if you come up with a medicine that destroys its cell wall, it mutates and becomes a different organism. After entering into India on the 30th of January, novel coronavirus has mutated 34 times till the 1st of June. Thirdly, it is a non-DNA organism. It has only RNA and lipid. So it can be transmitted only between living beings. That is why all this hullabaloo about burial of dead bodies is a joke, because a dead man cannot transmit the virus. It can be transmitted only by sneezing and coughing. If you give me a glass full of water and put novel coronavirus into that water and I drink it, nothing will happen to me. The virus affects me only if it gets in my nose and if affects my lower respiratory organisms. I am giving all these details because media should have done it. We call the media as the common man's university. We should have given all the scientific information and reduced the panic of the citizens. Nowadays, senior citizens, which is the most vulnerable section of the population, are so worried that they don't want to go out and meet their loved ones. They feel that if they go out and talk to somebody, they will die next day. So we have to develop a culture where we speak the language of the common man. Whatever we do, he understands, and we should care for him and reduce his anxiety, reduce his panic, make him ready to go out, do his job, and earn money to support his family. We have seen an unprecedented economic fall down in so many years. The government is trying to do what it can. But I also feel that the state government and the central government come up with a decentralized plan of putting the economy back on track. India is a very complex country, very wide-ranging focus it has. We cannot have one policy for the whole country. Each problem is localized, and definitely solutions should be localized. I think Eisenhower has a lesson for us. We should go back to being the normal crazy Indians, and there lies the answer.
Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable suggestion as well as details of coronavirus. Now over to you, ma'am.
गुड मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार. ऋषिकेश आत्ता असं म्हणाले की संपूर्ण कोरोना काळात मीडियाची जबाबदारी महत्त्वाची होती आणि ती फार व्यवस्थित पार पाडली गेली नाही. मी थोडीशी असहमत आहे या मुद्द्याला. कोरोनामध्ये 2 महत्त्वाच्या गोष्टी समोर आल्या ज्या संपूर्ण जगभरालाच लागू होतील. त्याच्यामध्ये माणसाची जगण्याची इच्छा अति तीव्र आहे. म्हणजे काहीही होऊ दे, त्याला जगायचं असतं, ही पहिली गोष्ट. आणि त्याला त्याचं स्वातंत्र्य फार प्रिय असतं. माणसाला त्याचं स्वातंत्र्य इतकं प्रिय असतं, कोरोनामुळे आपल्या जगण्याचे सगळे आयाम बदलले. आणि लोकल लेवलला मी सांगते की जबाबदार पत्रकारिता म्हणजे काय असते. मला वाटते तरुण भारत म्हणजे मी हे स्वस्तुती किंवा असं म्हणत नाही आहे, पण हे जे म्हणतात की लोकांना शिक्षित केलं पाहिजे, तर त्या दृष्टीने पहिली मुलाखत डॉक्टर विनय दास्तिकोपची ही तरुण भारतमध्ये आली की क्वारंटाईन म्हणजे काय. या कोरोनामध्ये आपली शब्दकोश पण बदलले. आपल्याला क्वारंटाईन समजलं, आपल्याला कोरोना म्हणजे काय समजलं, निर्जंतुकीकरण म्हणजे सॅनिटायझेशन काय आपल्याला माहीत नव्हतं, आयसोलेशन म्हणजे माहीत नव्हतं, कंटेनमेंट झोन म्हणजे माहीत नव्हतं. हे सगळे शब्द बदलले. जसे जगण्याच्या प्रत्येक क्षेत्रावरती ह्या कोरोनानी आपल्या प्रचंड परिणाम केलेले आहेत. अतुल असं म्हणाले की पुढच्या काळात कसं आपलं आयुष्य असेल, पण आपल्याला आज बघावा लागेल. कोरोनामुळे जे महत्त्वाचे प्रश्न घरांमध्ये निर्माण झाले त्यात महत्त्वाचं असं असतं की महिलांना ह्याचा फार ताण आला. आपण एक रविवार जेव्हा महिलांना सुट्टी असते तेव्हा महिला असं म्हणतात की नको तो रविवार. इथे 2-2, 3-3 महिने एकत्र राहावं लागलं आणि एकत्र राहण्यामुळे आपल्याला एकमेकांचे स्वभाव कळले. आपण सदा सर्व काळ सतत प्रेमात कधीच राहू शकत नाही. आपल्याला मतभेद कळले, स्वभावातले गुणदोष कळले आणि हळूहळू घरं दुभंगली गेली. बेळगावमध्ये कोरोना काळामध्ये घरं दुभंगण्याचे प्रकार घडले. ही पहिली गोष्ट. दुसरी गोष्ट, महिलांनी हा गांभीर्याने घेतलाय की नाही असं मला वाटतं. एकीकडे कष्टकरी आणि सामान्य महिलांना आपल्या जगण्याचे प्रश्न निर्माण झाले होते की मी आज माझं घर कसं भरू, आज माझं घरातला मी कसं पोट भरू, आणि दुसरीकडे माझं घर भरणार नाही, मला पोटाला घालता येणार नाही ही चिंता, आणि दुसरीकडे माझ्या सगळ्या पार्ट्या आणि भिशी आणि किटी मुकल्या ही चिंता. म्हणजे ही प्रचंड तफावत आपल्याला ह्या बेळगावपुरतं मी बोलते, कारण मी कंटेनमेंट झोनपासून कोरोनापासून सगळ्या ठिकाणी फिरून पत्रकारिता केलेली आहे, म्हणून मी हे सांगते. आपल्याला सतत त्यांनी सांगण्यात आलं की डोळ्याला हात लावू नका, पण आमची ही जबाबदारी होती की डोळ्याला हात का लावायचं नाही. तेव्हा शिल्पा कोडकिणीसारख्या एका मुलाखतीतून मग स्पष्ट होतं की डोळ्याला हात लावण्यात कोरोना डोळ्यातून सुद्धा होतो. शिक्षित करण्याचं लोकांना जे माध्यम आहे ते राष्ट्रीय वाहिन्यांनी आणि वृत्तपत्रांनी किती केलं माहीत नाही, पण लोकल लेवलवरती सगळ्या मीडियानी ते खूप चांगलं केलेलं आहे. जो कोरोनामुळे मानसिक आणि शारीरिक हिंसासुद्धा वाढलेली आहे, आणि ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टींचा विचार करताना आपल्याला परत एकदा कुटुंबांतर्गत आपल्या कुटुंब व्यवस्थेचाच पुन्हा एकदा विचार करावा लागणार आहे की खरंच माणसं एकत्र राहण्याने सुखी होतात का, आणि ती सुखी होणार असतील तर एकत्र राहताना सामंजस्य आणि समन्वय ह्याकडे आपल्याला फार प्राधान्याने लक्ष द्यावं लागणार आहे असं मला वाटतं.
नाही, डेफिनेटली त्याच्याबद्दल काही डाऊटच नाही आहे. जसं तुम्ही म्हटलं ना की बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी बाहेर आलेल्या आहेत, त्यातली एक महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे परवा जे सुशांत सिंग राजपूतचा सुसाईड झाला, तर सगळे आता जागे झालेत का म्हणजे रिकामे बसलेत का? सुसाईड आधी नव्हता का? आणि तो काय फक्त कोरोनामुळे सुसाईड झाला का? नाही. जसे सर म्हणाले, वी हॅव टू लिव्ह विथ द व्हायरस. आणि मी दोघांच्या मताप्रमाणे आय एम एग्रींग टू बोथ ऑफ यू. ॲज सर सेड, मीडिया हॅज बीन इररिस्पॉन्सिबल टू सम स्टेट अँड हॅज some responsibility being taken also. But कसं आहे, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सोशल मीडिया, जे व्हॉट्सॲप किंवा फेसबुकवरचे अनवॉन्टेड मेसेजेस जे फॉरवर्ड व्हायला लागलेत, आय डोंट नो हाऊ फार इट इज बीन अप्रूव्ड टू स्प्रेड द मेसेज की बाय अ ऑक्सिजन सिलेंडर, कीप एन ऑक्सिजन मास्क अँड बी रेडी फॉर द कोरोना. आय थिंक इफ दॅट वॉज पॉसिबल, हॉस्पिटल्स वुड हॅव नेव्हर बीन constructed. If a layman could measure SpO2 and then give oxygen at home, and then we would be fine with everything. We would never have had ICUs or ventilators. But these messages which are being forwarded, I don't blame the media for it, but definitely every responsible citizen should see and think whether the messages should be forwarded or no. If one of the doctor is saying you take vitamin D supplements and vitamin C supplements for so many days and then you'll be fine, has anybody gone into the detail of checking the blood of every individual to prescribe it?
See, one of the basic mistakes we are doing, everybody, when I say we, it is an inclusive we, is to call social media as media. Social media is not media. Social media is only a way of communication. Even, in fact, I call it anti-social media.
Anti-social media.
Media should understand that people form opinions that change the lives of the people. As she was saying, there have been many dark underbellies of our society, where there has been physical, mental violence, there has been discrimination on the basis of disability, there has been physical aggression, there has been malevolence, there has been hatred. All this is because we have spent the last 100 days doing nothing but spending our time on either the big screen or the small screen. We have stopped critical thinking, we have stopped discussion, we have stopped reading the good old printed paper, we have stopped reading books.
Right. We've had a lot of discussions all along on media and WhatsApp, and I think WhatsApp University has come up. That's what people say. So what happened during Corona and what happened before that? What we are looking for as an institution is maybe certain tips from experienced individuals like you. What can we do post-Corona? Okay, I mean, I don't know how far the post is going to come, but how are we going to make a new normal if we have to live our daily lives like before? What are the strategies? So as a experienced psychologist, Radhika is also a physiotherapist as well as a graphologist and has her own clinic. So as a person with varied experience like this, could we expect one or two tips from you as to how to face their lives becoming emotionally stronger, how to become emotionally stronger to face crisis like this?
The first thing is, ma'am, accepting the facts. Most important thing about life is acceptance. Whether it is crisis, whether it is normal situation, you have to accept the things as they are. First is accepting, as sir said, you need not get panicked about corona. Being aware of the right information and not believing these stupid messages which are being circulated all around, and making sure whatever information you are getting is valid, and just not looking at those death rates and looking at the number or the age of the death. I remember yesterday somebody in Belgaum of 32 died, and then immediately all those who are 32 are like, oh, no, is it 32 can die. So this type of panic should not be created by ourselves and even for others. Secondly is maintaining a normal life. Normal life, people have forgotten what's normal life, which includes right from your exercising to meditation to normal food, eating the right food, being good and socially active, in the sense contributing your own way, your own way to the society, and not creating those stigmas of this lady comes for work from that area, so she's not supposed to enter this area and I'm supposed to stay at home. No, getting back to normal life is very important. As you said, we really don't know what is beyond. We do not have an so-called update saying that this is the end of corona. We have it for 6 months, 8 months, 2 years. As of now, today, the vaccine also says it may come up at the end of 2021. That doesn't mean we are going to stay at home till 2021. Getting back to your normal activity, increasing your immune system in all possible ways, just staying positive also is very important. Not getting panicked, because immediately if somebody is going to be diagnosed of corona, which we have no idea how it's been spread, still the research goes on, like what is the exact way and how it's going to be spread and everything to the core. So having an information, if somebody is being diagnosed with corona, there is a treatment for it. Not everybody gets into the ICU or ventilator. Not everybody dies of corona. Coming out of corona and living back to a normal life and helping others live a normal life is very important. Most important is you should not get panicked. What happens is most of the times we lose hopes when we get panicked.
All right, so if I have to summarize what you say, be positive.
And live for today.
Right, live for today and don't panic. There is always hope for a better tomorrow.
Definitely.
And I think we as a society have overcome so many issues like this.
Absolutely.
Right, thank you, Radhika. How do you see the role of the media in the coming days? I mean, if you could control or could manage, post-corona at least, what should be the strategies?
I think the media should be more responsible. It should not just go by the market. It should realize that people who are watching their news and people who are reading, who are forwarding, they are human beings with emotions and human beings with fragile ecosystems of health and psychological well-being. They are affected by whatever we say. For example, Manisha ma'am knows it well, when we cover somebody's suicide, we are forbidden to use the word suicide.
Correct.
And we are forbidden to describe the method in which he committed it, because that may lead to somebody else committing suicide. So nowadays we are saying he ended his life, he was found dead. These are the words. So even in Kannada or Marathi or Hindi or English, we have to be aware that our actions have very, very dangerous significance. People tend to learn from us and unfortunately still continue to believe us. We have to be responsible. This is one. Secondly, self-discipline is the best discipline. No government can force somebody to do something. Media should realize that if Indian economy has to come back and grow at 10% GDP, if it has to support our advertising system, if we have to grow into an evolved democracy, we need confident people who are not bothered about unnecessary, untested, unsubstantiated reports about the disease. And this is not the only disease. With the velocity in which we are destroying nature, we are bound to be hit by even more serious diseases. In 2017, there was snow in Arabia and ice caps were melting. In our own state of Karnataka, we have lost thousands of hectares of Western Ghats. So we have to be ready to face even bigger diseases and crisis. We have to go ahead with confidence, taking a holistic view of life and maybe a philosophical view of life, that life is uncertain, but what is certain is that we should go on with diligence and strife. I think that is the only way ahead for us.
There are certain questions here.
Yeah.
There are two, and both of them are quite similar. I will combine both and ask. Any of you can answer. How can we stay motivated during the crisis, and especially, the mental health of school children, especially those students who are, at the edge of a course like SSLC,
Or
PUC, my own students who are in the final year. So how do we help? How can such students stay motivated, and any tips for mental health for them?
Regarding parents, we have to motivate parents only. Children are not at all responsible for anything.
Correct.
हमारा क्या होता है, हमने आदत डाली है की मला एवढं पाहिजे, मला एवढं पाहिजे. आम्ही इतक्या अपेक्षा मुलांच्याकडून करतोय. आम्ही मुलांना हे सांगायला पाहिजे की SSLCचं 1 वर्ष जाऊ दे, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही, सेकंड इयर जाऊ दे. तुमच्या इतकं महत्त्वाचं मला काही नाही आहे. नापास होण्यात काही चूक नाही आहे. आणि तुम्ही काहीही करा, म्हणजे काहीही करा ह्याचा अर्थ तुम्ही कृती वाईट करा असं नाही आहे, पण तुमच्या आयुष्यात काहीही घडलं तरी तुम्ही जसे आहात तसे आम्ही तुम्हाला स्वीकारणार आहोत, हा विश्वास पालक द्यायला कमी पडतात. पॅम्परिंग खूप होतं आहे, सवयी सवलती देतोय, गिफ्ट द्या, वाढदिवस करा, सिम्पल लाईफ जगता येतं आहे हे आम्ही मुलांना शिकवायचं विसरलेलो आहोत. आम्हाला सगळी मुलं, त्यामुळे आमची मुलं सगळी एका वेस्टर्न कल्चरकडे जायला लागलीत. कल्चर त्यांनी कुठलं घ्यावं हा प्रश्न नाही आहे, पण कमी गरजामध्ये साधेपणाने राहता येतं. दुसऱ्यासाठी एक कन्सर्न असावी लागते, ती पालकांनाच नाही आहे. म्हणजे ह्या 3 महिन्यात हे पर्सनल होईल किंवा काय होईल मला माहीत नाही. कोणी असं नाही विचारलं की ऋषिकेशला पण अनुभव असेल की हाऊ आर यू,
Absolutely.
तुम्ही कसे आहात.
नाही, नाही.
बिकॉज ऑल 3 months वी आर इन आवर ड्युटी, आवर जॉब, अँड 24/7 नो वन हॅज आस्क्ड अस हाऊ आर यू, प्लीज टेक केअर. कारण ही कन्सर्न, म्हणजे ही अपेक्षा नाही करत आहे आम्ही, पण ही कन्सर्न जी असावी लागते ती समाजामध्ये कमी व्हायला लागले, पालकांमध्ये कमी व्हायला लागले. कारण आम्ही मुलांना एक वेगळ्या खोल्या करून दिलेल्या आहेत आणि त्या खोलीमध्ये ते राहतात. आय एम व्हेरी ऑब्जेक्ट फॉर दॅट सेपरेट रूम फॉर द चिल्ड्रन. ती एकदा त्या खोलीत गेली की ती जगापासूनच तुटतात. आणि पालकांनी थोडं आधी शिकलं पाहिजे की पालक जेव्हा करतील की मला मदत करायची, आय वॉन्ट टू हेल्प दिस पीपल, मला ह्यांना मदत करायची, मुलं आपोआप शिकतील. त्यामुळे मुलांना शिक्षण म्हणजे अकॅडमिक शिक्षण एवढंच महत्त्वाचं आहे, हा समज आधी पालकांच्यातून गेला पाहिजे, तो मुलांच्यात आला पाहिजे. म्हणजे मग काही होणार नाही. मेंटल हेल्थसाठी बोलावं लागेल. स्ट्रेस जो आहे ना, खूप काहीही बोला, पण कुणाशी तरी बोला. हे जे, आणि मग बऱ्याचदा मुलांना पालकांशी बोलता येत नाही, ते मित्रांशी बोलतील, मैत्रिणींशी बोलतील, ओके ठीक आहे. फक्त ते किती वेळ बोलतायत, काय बोलतायत, थोडंसं आपलं लक्ष ठेवायला पाहिजे. त्यांचं पण फ्रीडम आहे. आम्ही हे नेहमी विसरतो की आम्ही मुलं ही आमची प्रॉपर्टी आहेत असं समजतो. मुलांना त्यांचं व्यक्तिमत्व आहे आणि त्यांना काही स्वातंत्र्य देण्याची गरज आहे. ते थोडंसं दिलं ना की गोष्टी नॉर्मल होते.
I would like to add one more thing.
Sure.
That now, as you said, there are few kids who are giving their SSLC exam and PUC 2 or the final year. Whatever will happen, it will happen to the entire lot.
True.
This is what should be taken into consideration right now. It is not that one student or 2 students are going to suffer out of it. Yes, definitely there is a backlog. That pressure is always created on the kids by the society. More than the child, the people around the child asking him ki आता काय रे, पुढे काय होणार? So we should be aware of that, and that this is going to happen to everybody, and nothing wrong is going to happen. Maybe we'll delay 3 or 4 months,
Yes,
but that
exactly.
doesn't mean nothing is going to
Nothing will
happen. That delay and this waiting period should be accepted by all. The way to stay motivated is just wait for it. Maybe the right time. See, I think 2 months ago we never knew we are going to sit and talk like this. We thought everything is going to be closed.
Yes,
But yes, we are sitting, we have come out and doing our work. Similarly, even the schools will start. Even things will get back to normal. People will go back to work. The work opportunities might increase, in fact. Or it can open up new grounds for work. So staying motivated in that
I
way is
agree
important.
to both of them, and I'll just add some data to what they're saying.
Sure.
One, there's something called GER, General Enrollment Ratio.
Yes.
It means that if 100 children go to first standard in this country, how many people go to college? It's very, in fact, enlightening, not shameful, to know that only 7 people go to college in this country. So 93 people don't go to college in this country, and they all live. They are not vermin, they live successful lives, and they are as successful as anybody in their own fields.
There is a very interesting question. We spoke about different people. I know the health workers are the ones who have really fought this entire battle. We have sat at home, become expert doctors, expert cooks, expert commentators about everything in the world. But it is the doctors, the nurses and the medical workers on the front who have actually done a lot. And it's a big hats off to them. They have faced so many things. So there is a question here from a viewer, Snehal Patil Desai, and she asks, how can health workers stay positive? Because I think they must be seeing so many incidents every day. How can they stay positive? Many of them have not gone home for many days. There was a case of a nurse who had not met her child for almost 21 days. So how can they be positive in such situations is the question.
I think Radhika should answer.
Yes, of course. See, this is a very tricky question actually. No, it's so difficult for us to say stay positive.
Very easy, very difficult to do.
The concept which has come up in late life, like stay positive. I don't think we should force everybody to stay positive. Sometimes going and helping these people to vent out. See, we cannot replace them. We cannot ask a nurse and say, you take off, I'll ask the postman to take your duty one day. They are doing the duty. Definitely the frontliners are doing an excellent duty. Hats off to them. None of them could have handled the way they have been handling. Yes, the role of people also does. It's very important in that. Like, again, coming back to the point, educating the society that please don't mistreat them.
Educating to government.
Which is very important. Which is very important.
You talk, I will tell you practically.
Very important role where the government plays. The health workers also need to have these counseling sessions, not just with the counseling, but to stay in touch with their own family members, to make sure they are safe, to make sure they get all those things and equipments which will make them feel they are safe. If a proper PPE kit or a sanitizer or a room which is enough for them to breathe and do things, or a proper scheduled duty which has to be allotted is not given, it is very impossible for the health workers to stay positive. Yes, they are going to go through a real hell lot of time, because I have been speaking to a few of the doctors in these few days. I had one doctor who just went to New York to do her duty. And she was telling me it is so devastating to see dead bodies piled up on each other. And coming back home, I close my eyes, I can just see the bodies and I feel so bad. Again, coming to the point, they have to accept it. There is no other go. The government has to play a bigger role in it. And the society has to also play a role, because there were some instances I saw where the doctor was not let to come inside the society of his own house, which should not be done. These are the health frontliners are next to God right now in this situation. They should not be mistreated. In fact, the neighbors or the people around them should help them get in touch with their family.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful discussion.
Thank you very
just
much.
If I have to summarize or just wrap up the whole thing, what we learned from an esteemed panel like you all, like a pandemic is there. India has crossed bigger hurdles earlier. And I think, I read a very interesting article from Dr. C.N. Manjunath of Bangalore Jaydeva. He says, out of 100 patients who get a heart disease, there are at least 10 to 12 who are bound to die. And the rest live a very uncomfortable life, at least 40% of them. It's only about 30% of them who actually get fully cured. And then out of 100 persons who are affected with this virus, there are 3 people who will die. So we are worrying more about something which has got a rate of 3% and not worried about diseases which are killing us every day, like diabetes and heart conditions, hypertension, mental stress, which is so high. And all this is due because we are assuming that we know everything. And we think that, the world is going to end because the Mayan calendar said so. or it is because, I'm reading something from somewhere and without reading I'm forwarding to everybody. So if these are the lessons that we learn from Corona, the pandemic which has affected all of us. One is stay positive. There is always hope for a better tomorrow. Second, when you read something, make yourself sure that you are forwarding the right message. Don't create panic. Be positive, because there is always a better tomorrow. Thank you, panelists.
Thank
you were
you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
hope
you.
the audience have enjoyed this
Great to have
discussion.
come here and-
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.